Hi, my name is T. Welcome to Refugee Journey Towards FI, where FI stands for Financial Independence. I'm taking you along my journey to show that accumulating a nest egg to comfortably retire before the prescribed retirement age is possible without a finance degree, get-rich-quick scheme, and courses offered by the gurus and experts. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Information is readily available through your local libraries, books, blogs, and YouTube. The information I share is not a secret. All I'm doing is taking bits and pieces I have learned late in life and create a SMART goal, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, to ensure a high rate of success. I encourage you all to do the same. Personal finance is personal. It is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Dave Ramsey, the FIRE community, the real estate community, etc., all have valid points and invalid points, depending on your personal beliefs and circumstance. So who am I? Why should you spend your valuable time viewing content on this channel? As a refugee, a first-generation immigrant, and a proud naturalized American citizen, I've been fortunate and blessed living the American dream. My version of the American dream is upward mobility and an improved quality of life. My life, not my neighbor's or the celebrity's life. But it hasn't always been this rosy. The early two-thirds of my life consisted of struggles to meet basic life necessities and consumer mindset with countless of poor choices in my 20s and most of my 30s resulted in $0 saved for retirement at the age of 32. America is a great country. We have so much freedom. But with freedom comes great responsibility, or in my case, consequences that I had to work my way out at a much older age. Fortunately, I changed the course, and I stayed the course. I failed early, and I failed forward, leading to a wonderful life in my journey towards FI. At the age of 33, I thought I was living the American dream, saving 15% toward retirement, factoring company's match, of course, excellent credit score, up-to-date on bills, providing an experience for my family I never had as a child, and accumulating stuffs upon stuffs. Until I stumbled upon a FIRE movement popularized by the millennials at the ripe old age of, ready? 40. FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. If I continued on the path I was on, I realized that I would be working past the prescribed retirement age and still have to rely on Social Security to survive and potentially be the burden for my kids in my not-so-golden years. I had the income to support my lifestyle creep, but I would have had nothing to fall back on if I had lost my stable job with a decent income. Worse yet, because I started my 401k from ground zero at 33 years old, I had a lot to catch up on. A typical recommended 10% to 15% wasn't going to make up for my 12 years of not contributing, and compound interest can't perform their magic for those two lost decades. Contrary to most beliefs, FI doesn't mean penny pinching and missing out on what life has to offer. Since I started my FI journey, I still splurge on things and experiences that bring joy to my family, making sure my kids get to enjoy their childhood with things to play, activities to enjoy, and family vacations to cherish. But I cut down on material things that did not add any value or memories. The change from a consumer mindset to pay yourself first mindset has improved my financial wellness. I went from $0 saved for retirement at the age of 32 to over $500,000 net worth and to over $400,000 nest egg. It's worth noting the majority of the accelerated growth didn't start until 2018, the 5 focus years at the ripe old age of 40. I'm not on this journey alone. I have a great support from the mother of my 4 wonderful children. She's not a number nerd like I am when it comes to budget and finance, but she supports our journey towards financial independence. My family is my everything. I want to make sure I provide my kids the needs and wants in life while teaching them the value of hard work, knowledge, dedication, respect, dignity, honesty, and integrity. As much as I enjoy my work and appreciate the opportunity my current employer has given me, I find it even more rewarding when I'm given the opportunity to make an impact on people's finances, helping one family at a time free of charge. My only ask for them is to share and spread the knowledge. Now I'm taking the same passion to YouTube to reach a wider audience. Let's break the status quo. Let's turn money from being a taboo subject to as common as what do you do for a living? Let's unsubscribe to the conventional wisdom. Let's break down barriers, roadblocks, and challenges to achieve financial independence. Yes, the rich do get richer, but the poor don't have to remain poor or be poorer. Don't forget the past, but don't let it prohibit you from moving forward. Now that I'm getting the current state and purpose of this channel out of the way, let me take you back to my 4 decades plus of history. I feel it is very important for you to get to know my past, to deflect any negative thoughts you may have about my current profession and income. When I scroll through comments, it is not uncommon to read comments like, it's easy for them to save half of their income because they are engineers, doctors, lawyers making 6 figures. It is easy for them to save because they don't have any kids. I grew up in a poor family. I don't have any role model to look up to and guide me through. You get the point. My mother fled the Khmer Rouge regime by crossing the border when I was an infant, along with my one and only surviving brother. I spent 12 years of my childhood living in Thailand refugee camp with no running water and electricity. We had to carry water from the main reservoir a couple miles away from our hut. Shower during the cold season required manual mixing of cold and boiled water. When it's time to cook, a block of good old wood and a couple matches did the job. Need to do number 1 and number 2? No problem. I just have to take a long walk to a shared outhouse, day or night. When it's time to sleep, we get to sleep on a bed made of bamboo sticks with mosquito net to prevent mosquito bites. As time passed, we prayed one day we would be fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to make a better life for ourselves in any one of the modern countries. It could be United States, Canada, Australia, France, and United Kingdom, etc. After a handful of tests, cross-examinations, and dwindling hopes, we were chosen to live in the United States of America in December of 1989. Finally, a little after over a decade of waiting patiently, and just when hope was lost, the 3 of us got a chance to live in a country of riches and prosperity. At least that was the pristine image I had of America. 8 years in Long Beach, California, quickly squashed that pristine image. We lived in a poor neighborhood with low income and wages around $4 per hour, high crime rate with high cost of living. None of us spoke any English. I started in middle school and my brother started in high school. Believe me, language immersion works. We were the Rosetta Stone before it became a worldwide name in 2003. We had no choice but to immerse ourselves in the English language. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for a hard-working single mother. My mom never had any formal education in her own native country because back then, they did not believe women should be educated. With 2 kids to support in a foreign country, she took on any job she can find to provide roof over her head and food on a table. We were fortunate to be the beneficiary of the government assistance program, supplementing and assisting income, which allowed my brother and I to focus on education. I'm thankful to this day and still believe there is a place for welfare and food stamps as a short-term assistance, but not as a lifelong stream of income. We were fortunate to have aunts, uncles, and cousins and neighbors, what I call small village, who we can lean on. As a kid, I never had any birthday celebrations, Christmas gifts, or fun vacations. I hated going back to school after holiday breaks because I didn't have any interesting stories to tell. Every chance I get to go to amusement park, Six Flags, Knott's Berry Farm, and SeaWorld, or even Swap Meet, I cherish every one of them. Those trips were memorable because they were rare and were paid for by my aunts and cousins' generosity. They paid for my trips, tickets, and food. They purchased my clothes and gave me money throughout my teen years. We may lack money, but we were full of love. My mother taught me the value of hard work, dedication, and determination. I put my head down, studied hard past midnight, took extra English courses during summer breaks to ensure I did not squander the once in a lifetime opportunity. It was easy to get mixed in the wrong crowd and get involved with gangs, violence, and drugs. But thanks to my strong upbringing and foundation, I was able to graduate top 6 in my senior class and an acceptance to local university, state university, tuition free. While tuition was free, the cost of living was not. 2 years in, I put my computer science major on pause and moved to Michigan to earn and save some cash. What a contrast in the environment between California and Michigan. Michiganders are nice and welcoming. Even strangers greeted you with respect and trust. I had to learn how to let my guard down. It took me a little to get used to seeing cars with windows rolled down and doors unlocked, homes and apartments with sliding glass doors with no metal guard on the exterior. To be honest, it was hard for me to sleep because I was fearful someone may break in. Michigan offered a sense of security with relatively lower crime rate, as well as job securities. My original intent was to simply work a year or two to save up some cash, then go back to school to complete my computer science major. But instead, I worked in a factory as a production worker for 12 years. I was enjoying that $400 to $1,000 weekly check, depending how much I work in overtime, buying nice things and going to places I could only dreamed of as a child. I bought a fairly used SUV, lease or on Dave Ramsey term, fleece a nice sport car, wore brand name clothes and color coordinated outfit from head to toes. I had close to a perfect credit score of 825, and I can buy anything I want on credits. I was never late on any bills, but every dollar made was dollars spent. My view toward contributing to 401k was ridiculously dumb. Why would I contribute to a 401k plan when I may or may not live to see at the age of 59 and a half? There was no need for me to contribute more to my own retirement account using my own money because my company auto contributed 6% into my retirement plan with or without my contributions. More on that later. The weekly checks were good for someone who was used to $4 per hour job to a $17.80 per hour. But the monotony of repeating the same job over and over, the 6 to 7 day work week, was not something I can sustain over time. Thankfully, my young self realized it and went back to school in 2004 while working a full-time job because I wanted to graduate debt-free by leveraging tuition reimbursement with free and reduced tuition on classes taught on my company campuses. I graduated fall of 2008, which happened to be the year of the market crash. While I waited for the economy to pick back up, my name kept creeping up on the layoff list every quarter. Fortunately, I did not experience any layoff because I was offered a software engineer position in 2010. Remember I told you my previous employer auto contributed 6% toward my retirement with or without my contribution? Well, since I was no longer employed there, I had the options to either roll it over to my next employer's 401k plan, IRA, or cash it out. So I decided to cash out the free money, or at least that was what my young self was thinking then. After 12 long years working on the production floor assembling headliners with hot melt glue in many muggy and sweaty summers, I finally landed my dream job, or so I thought. The pay was good, the job was fulfilling, but traveling to fulfillment centers across the United States meant sacrificing my time away from being there for my kids' growth and development. After 2 years as a software engineer, I made a career shift with my company closer to home. It was not an easy choice. I left a job I went to school for, which aligned with my natural strengths, problem solving and coding. Not to mention, I had to take a drastic pay cut as well. But when factoring 2 hours saved per day to and from the office, and valuable time I gained back by not having to travel weeks at a time, it was worth it for me. I can always make more money, but I cannot buy back time. Looking back, that was the best decisions I have ever made. I've been so blessed and fortunate to have worked for a mid-sized corporation that has grown double digits over the last decade, which has catapulted us from a small cap to a mid-cap corporation. Despite being a mid-cap company, we still have a strong culture that makes work rewarding. I have moved up the corporate ladder in various leadership roles to now a middle manager. I am forever in debt to my current employer. I can provide for my kids their needs and wants. They get to experience family vacations, and while at home still feels like a staycation. I am at the height of my career, working for a great company with overall benefit. But since the pandemic, I feel there is a higher purpose for me. I can either view the first 3 decades of life as torture and failure, or I can view them as lessons to grow, cherish, and share. Even though I have not reached my FI number, I feel I have enough with everything going for me and my family. But I cannot stand on the sideline to see people making a dying instead of making a living. People live for today with the YOLO, you only live one mindset, and making poor choices on top of poor choices. Marketers and gurus promising to get rich quickly and do nothing for the people but making them, the guru, richer. I won a lottery the day I get to call the United States of America my home. American dream is still alive. But America is not without its flaws. Despite being the richest nation, the income gap continues to rise. Working two-parent families continue to fall below the poverty line. People are still living paychecks to paychecks. People live beyond and within their means. College education costs continue to rise. Medical expenses are beyond affordable for most Americans. As that is not enough, the age of social media and the now generation, where within 1 hour you can have your waffle maker ordered, delivered, make a waffle, and eat it. It is easier than ever to keep up with the Joneses and lifestyle creep. People are not prepared for various things in life can throw at them. The unexpected event beyond their control, such as the dot-com bubble in 2000, the financial crisis in 2008, and the recent market crash in 2020, can cause millions of Americans to lose their homes and cripples their retirement funds. I want to use this platform to share my stories, my failures, and growths and successes to provide hope for those who are struggling and feeling hopeless and guidance for those who are lost. Some of you may be at the same stage as I am today. Some of you may be well ahead of me, and some of you may be at the stage I was early on in my life. It doesn't matter where you are. It's never too late to change the course for the better. All it takes is a change in mindset. Stop playing the blame game. Stop blaming the government and corporate greed. I went from $0 saved for retirement at the age of 32 to $500,000 in net worth and $419,000 in nest egg today isn't because the government has gotten better or corporate greed is gone. Where I was at was my fault. It was the consequence of my wrong choices. Where I am at is because I have made a better choice, an informed choice. I want this to be a community where people share their failures and successes so we can all learn from each other for free. Disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor. The information I share is my lifelong journey. It is not meant to be a financial advice. I start this channel with the intent to inspire all Americans, regardless of background, race, education, profession, and income. Financial independence is within reach. It may take you 10 years, 15, 20, 25, or even 30. But that is still better than relying on Social Security benefits that may or may not be there when you reach the traditional retirement age. Another advantage of the financial independence journey is you are more prepared when, not if, we experience an economic downturn. This channel is my way of pay it forward to the nation that gave my family the freedom and the opportunity to make something of ourselves and improve our quality of life. If my purpose aligns with yours, click the like button and subscribe. Share this video with someone you love and care about their financial being.